You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast, and this is show number 237, the Sunday, 25th of November, 2018.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my good friend Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Now, forgive the very croaky voice, but as I'm recording this today, I have very little voice, but I don't think I'll be speaking that much because I have a Disney obsessive with me today who's going to talk us through a little bit about her trips to Disneyland Paris, her trips to Walt Disney World, and her love of Disney. Welcome to the Disney Dream Girls for the very first time, Liz Reed. Hello.
Hi there, everybody. Yeah, hello.
Hello there, my lovely. Now, people may know you through the groups that you manage and are part of on Facebook. Would you like to just give them a bit of a shout out now, please?
Sure, yeah. I'll shout out my Run Disney group, which is called Run Disney Paris Fans. We've got about 3,500 members now, and we chat about everything to do with Run Weekend at Disneyland Paris. I'm admin of another really big group called Disneyland Paris Chat for Brits, and I've got a YouTube channel called Fairy Godmother, where I upload my very amateurish vlogs of all my trips.
But don't you think they're the better ones? Because they reflect things accurately rather than those that have been edited to the centimetre of their life.
Well, I don't have the tech skills to do all that fancy editing, so I just take my camcorder along with me and show people what I'm seeing and have some fun with it. So that's me. I can't be anything else. So that's my YouTube channel.
Perfect. And I do highly recommend, if you are a Disneyland Paris runner, to please go over and check out Lizzie's page, because you'll build up a community of friends and they'll look after you if you are going to be planning to take part in September 2019 now.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait.
So let's just talk a little bit about your trip for Run Weekend that was back in September.
Sure.
Now, is it the third year now?
Yeah, that was the third year this time, since the inaugural Run Weekend was 2016. So this was the third one. I've done all the races so far, all the weekends at Paris. This one was a bit different because we had some themes going on, like the 5K was themed to Marvel, the 10K was themed to sidekicks, as in villains sidekicks. Mm-hmm. The half was just generally villains, and then we had a couple of challenges. A challenge for completing 31k and a challenge for completing 36k. So it was awesome.
So you did the whole entire, every single race you could.
Yep.
How many medals did you end up with?
Well, I got 5. It was possible to get 6. You could get 6 if you'd done a half marathon in America as well this year, but I hadn't. So I got 5, one for each of the 3 races, 5k, 10k, half marathon, one for the 31k challenge and one for the 36k challenge, which was awesome. I got 5 really, really nice Disney medals.
Wow. Absolutely in awe of you, my lovely, for doing that. Now, I know that you go to Disneyland Paris virtually every single month on a trip or something. What is it that draws you to Disneyland Paris?
For a start, it's handy to get to because I don't live too far from London. I can drive to Ebbsfleet. That means I can get on the Eurostar. Basically, 2 or 3 hours later, I'm in Paris. So the first thing is it's handy. Mm-hmm. But it's also just kind of home. It feels like home when you're there because it's small. You get to know people. You get to know cast members. You get to know your way around. I don't know. I just like it. It's kind of intimate. And easy to navigate, and lately there's always been different seasons and different things going on, so it's always fresh. There was a really good season this year, the season of Pirates and Princesses. That was awesome. There was a Marvel season, there's Star Wars season. On my birthday, I have a Star Wars birthday, May the 4th, and this year on my birthday they had a whole Star Wars day where you could meet Chewbacca and R2 and dress up Star Wars, and it was awesome. I just love it, really. It just feels like home, feels like fun, and I always have a completely different trip, whoever I'm with, wherever I'm staying. I just love it.
Now, I do know you are a bit of a character obsessive.
That's come lately, yeah. Not as obsessed as some people, but I would say meeting characters I do love to do. I love the rides. I love thrill rides. I love all the rides. But lately, meeting characters has become probably more important than rides to me. I just enjoy it, get a lot out of it. And yeah, it's interesting to see the characters in different costumes and things like that. But basically, it's kind of like meeting my friends. I just like meeting them over and over and having different interaction. And that's the part I really love about going to the Disney parks, definitely.
Okay, so you're going to now talk to people as if they've never been to Disneyland Paris. Give them
Okay.
5 reasons why they need to book a trip to Disneyland Paris.
Wow, five. Okay. Number one, you won't get so exhausted walking around because nothing's too far apart. You can go from one park to the other park in about 10 minutes. So that's a big advantage. Number two, the attractions are awesome. I mean, the familiar attractions like It's a Small World, Peter Pan's Flight, Flying Dumbos, they're all there. But
Hmm.
we also have awesome rides that are only at Paris, like the Ratatouille ride, which is awesome. It has all this interactive stuff as if you shrink to the size of a rat, and it's just an interactive experience. That's a really unique one. Also, Crush's Coaster. I think that's pretty unique at Disneyland Paris. And just the whole Chez Remy Land, that's really unique. Our Toy Story Land is really unique
Hmm.
with a few fun little rides there, like RC Racer and our little cute Slinky Dog lame roller coaster, which you can go on. And it's just beautiful. The parks are just beautiful. So that can be the third reason. The parks are beautiful. I mean, they have beautiful flowers, beautiful displays, beautiful decorations. I think that's about 3 reasons. Fourth reason why you should go there. Because you'll be happy. You'll walk in and you'll feel happy. As soon as you hear the music and you walk down Main Street, you'll just feel happy. You can't really fail to. And our castle's awesome. I'll say number five, come to our castle because our castle is awesome because you can go inside it. You can go down to the basement of the castle and meet the dragon. I mean, he'll roar at you, scare you to death. Where else can you do that? Then on the ground level, you can explore a Christmas shop and an ornament shop. And then you can go up to the top level of the castle and you can see this whole storybook of Sleeping Beauty's story with actual suits of armor, knights in suits of armor that are snoring and stained glass windows, and follow the whole story of Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent and all of that. And then you can walk out onto the balcony of the castle and have a fabulous view of Fantasyland and miles ahead.
That is so unique.
Yeah, I didn't. When I went to Walt Disney World, I was a little bit disappointed with the castle. It's kind of like nothing in it. Paris, you can just have hours of fun just in the castle. That's another reason why you should definitely go there.
Good. And I must admit, it is by any track out of the 3 Disney parks I've been to the most beautiful castle.
Yes, I think so, but I'm probably biased because it's kind of my local park. And I've only been to Walt Disney World and Disneyland Paris, so I can't speak about the other castles.
Have we got one more? Have we done 4? Is that 5?
I don't know. I don't know. I might have slipped one in saying it was beautiful. What else can I say? Oh, the character interaction. You should definitely go to Disneyland Paris for the character interactions because the characters will play with you. They'll mess about. They'll interact with you. They'll take time with you. They'll make you feel like you're the only person there. You'll forget about the line. You'll forget that you're in the middle of crowds of people and you'll just feel like you're the only person having fun with them. I mean, I've met characters there with my friends and on my own, and the character interaction is really second to none. I mean, they notice everything. If you've got any characters on your clothes, if you've got any special ears, if you've got a plush toy with you, but you don't even have to have that. They are just amazing at connecting with you, finding a level of connection and just having fun with you. So it doesn't matter who you're going to meet, just meet some characters, and I think they're the best at Disneyland Paris, honestly.
I agree. If you are a character fan, you get so much more in Disneyland Paris because you have more opportunities, because you have the little character cavalcades at lunchtime-ish and early afternoon. You have the parades, and the characters really do seek to give you that eye contact in those times so that you can, really feel extra special.
Definitely. Go there for all those reasons and a lot more, which I can't think of at the top of my head because you put me on the spot, Van.
I
But
totally did.
that was at least five.
Perfect. Let's hop on over then, because in October you had the opportunity to go over to Walt Disney World, and a place you've said yourself you've been before, but you've only stayed off site.
Yeah.
So was it a particularly special event that made you decide to splurge and go on site?
It was. It was our 30th wedding anniversary. It was our Pearl wedding anniversary. My husband's name is Alban, and yeah, we got married in 1988, and we love Orlando, but we've never stayed on site in Walt Disney World before. We usually stay on International Drive or something like that and try to do a bit of each of the theme parks. So over the years, we've done most of the attractions in Florida and Orlando. And this time he actually suggested, which twice, that we stayed on site. So we started asking for recommendations of resorts, and we decided to splurge and stay at Beach Club Resort because it looked really luxurious and really relaxing and just a special place we could stay. So that was the reason behind it. Yep.
I think you can't have picked a better location as well than the Beach Club, because you've got Epcot and Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios within quite a small commute as well.
Definitely. You could so easily just walk to Epcot. And we did walk to Hollywood Studios once, but it was a bit hot and a bit far. So we could get the boat, really. It was a bit better. But yeah, definitely you could just walk to Epcot and have breakfast there, and so handy. And then you could just walk around the boardwalk and you feel like you're sort of in Disney, but you're not in Disney. It's very relaxing, very beautiful place to stay at the Beach Club. If you can afford it, you should definitely try it.
Okay, well, let's just talk a little bit about some of the highlights of your holiday. And also, you mentioned your husband. I do gather he's not the greatest of Disney fans. How did that play out between the two of you?
He isn't. It played out with a lot of compromise, which is probably how we've managed to stay married for 30 years, I guess. If I had my way, I'd have been running him at rope drop into the theme parks every morning, staying most of the day and leaving as they shut at night. But because I knew he didn't want to do that, and that's not his idea of relaxing, we took the opportunity to really plan this trip around our meal reservations, which might sound a bit weird, but we had the dining plan included with our stay. So that meant we had a table service meal every day, a quick service meal, and 2 snack credits a day. So we pretty much booked a very nice meal each day and planned the days around that. Mm-hmm. I know that he likes Eeyore, and in the past he's enjoyed Crystal Palace, so we booked that. And he's a massive sci-fi fan, so we booked the drive-in diner. I just had to take it a bit more slow and easy than I normally would have done, and when he'd had enough, we'd go back to the hotel and have a rest. And sometimes I would just go around on my own or meet other people I knew out there and give him a break. I guess just compromise, really.
I suppose that's the thing when you're going with somebody else, but also when it's a special celebration like yours was, that you have to make sure that there is some give and take to it, to make sure that they're going to enjoy it as much as you.
Definitely. And, you know, he likes to read his book and sit by the pool and just chill. And I find it hard to chill. I can chill for about 10 minutes and then I want to be doing something. But he needs his alone time. He needs his time to himself. So that can work out quite well because I can leave him reading his book for a couple of hours and go off and explore something. So I did that type of thing as well.
Okay.
But yeah, there were things he really wanted to do. He really wanted to do the Pandora world of Avatar and explore that. So we factored that in. And like I say, sci-fi diner. But really, it sounds a bit cheesy, but he's just happy to be with me. So
perfect choice of husband then.
He was pretty happy to do whatever I wanted to do. So happy wife, happy life.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some of those days that you fit in round your dining. You mentioned Pandora. Yep. Tell me a little bit about what your thoughts were with regards to the land and the attractions that you were able to try out.
We'd had breakfast at our hotel, actually. We'd had the breakfast at Cape May, the character breakfast, and then we went to Animal Kingdom. And we just explored the whole land. We just looked all over it. We were just amazed, really, at the whole kind of alien landscape, the way the plants were. There was blue plants, there was alien-looking plants. It was just fun. We just walked around for a long time and just really looked at everything in detail and were amazed at how you just felt like you were in this alien landscape. I don't know how else to describe it, really. I've forgotten the name of the band now, but it reminded Auburn of an album cover that he had. I wish I could remember it now. A picture he had on an album cover when he was younger, and that kind of vibe of the plants and the unusual colours, and almost as if somebody was tripping when they thought of it and imagined it. I don't know. And we could not get a fast pass for the main ride, but we did the Navi riverboat ride, which was awesome. And it was kind of relaxing as well. You just sit in the boat and you go along and you see beautiful things and animals pass you by and just beautiful plants and lovely things to look at. So we went on that ride, but mainly we just looked around. We just soaked up the atmosphere. We saw a funny drum band going on, drummers. It was just amazing. So we just enjoyed that. We just took it all in and enjoyed it. Yeah.
It's a shame you didn't get the fast pass for the main attraction.
I know.
Did you not consider waiting in the line, or was the line absolutely ridiculous?
The line was, I think it was something like 120 minutes or 110 minutes or something. There was no way we could do that. I mean, I think I accidentally managed to book our trip during UK half term because it just seemed to be a bit busier than we thought it would be. It was very, very hot. It was probably in the 100 degrees most of the time, where we were planning on it being more in the 80s. So hanging around, queuing for a long time, it just wasn't very comfortable. So no, unfortunately, we didn't do the main ride.
Oh, sorry, but it gives you a reason to go back.
Definitely.
And next time be really ready at 60 days out to get that reservation for it. I know we managed to go there for road drop one morning, but it was quite an ordeal to get to Animal Kingdom for 8 o'clock in the morning and then to be in line when it is what you call a holiday, which isn't meant to be a commando trip, really. No,
it was. But we weren't disappointed with the Pandora World of Avatar. It was absolutely beautiful. And I discovered Auburn had enough by the early afternoon. He wanted to go back to the hotel. So he went back and I decided to stay there a while. And I'd kind of accidentally got into this thing of being a wilderness explorer because I went over to speak to the wilderness explorers to see what they were doing. And you may or may not know, you can get a little book about being a wilderness explorer and you can collect badges. It's obviously for children, but I am a big kid and they were really nice. So they took me through getting the botany badge in the Avatar land. So they asked me all these plant questions and told me stuff about plants, and I got this botany badge and I thought, I can totally do this. So I had a fun afternoon, actually, just going around being a wilderness explorer completely by myself, lining up with little tiny kids and collecting the badges and finding out stuff around the park. So I did that. I had a lot of fun, actually. Didn't get all the badges, but I got lots of them.
There is no rule saying as an adult you cannot do that. So go ahead and have all the fun you can.
Well, I did, and I really enjoyed it. I learnt stuff, and it was really interesting speaking to the cast members. And they're really well trained to know a lot about the plants and the animals and saving the environment and the planet and things like that. So you can learn a lot by talking to them, whether you're an adult or a child, really.
Okay, well, let's pop to another park now, and let's go to the Big Cheese. Let's go to the Magic Kingdom. And I think the first thing we're going to talk about is some of your character interactions and how you utilised your dining plan to get some very scarce characters met.
In the Magic Kingdom, we obviously had our Crystal Palace meal where you get to meet Piglet, Winnie the Pooh, Eeyore and Tigger. So that was awesome. And they spent a lot of time with us. They do this really cute thing called the Friendship Parade about every half an hour where they parade all around the restaurant. Unfortunately, only children can really join in, but it's fun to watch.
Boo.
I know. It's just so cute. It's like hip hip hooray for the friendship parade. And then another day I actually got to manage to meet Winnie the Pooh and Rabbit as well, just outside that Winnie the Pooh ride. I think it's called the Thoughtful Spot. Had some great interaction with them there as well when I was with some other friends. But best of all, in Magic Kingdom, I'm jumping now, but I went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and there was 4 Winnie the Pooh characters there dressed up in those cutest little dress-up outfits, like party outfits. Like Eeyore had a party hat on, and Tigger had a pirate hat on, dressed like a pirate. Piglet was dressed like a butterfly, and Winnie the Pooh was dressed like a honeybee, and all 4 of them were out together as a meet and greet. So I queued up and met them, and Auburn didn't want to queue, so he just waited somewhere else. And I was by myself, and I had really nice interaction with all 4 of them, and they really took their time to sort of interact with me. I would say talk to me. They obviously don't talk out loud. They talk with their actions and their sign language. Those are lovely characters to me. They might not be the most unusual, but they're not disappointing. Crystal Palace, we ate in there, and that was really awesome.
Sorry, did you go for the breakfast, did you say?
No, that was lunch. We had lunch there. And there's a good selection of food in there. It's a buffet, so we had some nice food. But as you know, I'm more interested in the characters than the food. So it's not that unusual for me to go to a character meal and not eat much, because I'm just keeping an eye out for the characters and wanting to spend all my time with them.
Now, I know when I went earlier in the year and ate at Be Our Guest restaurant, I was not overly impressed with the whole experience, but you had a different viewpoint. You were excited about meeting a particular character. So why don't you share your views on it?
Well, okay. Be Our Guest was the one meal reservation that I really, really wanted, because I've always wanted to meet the Beast. Because I feel like in the film Beauty and the Beast is better as the Beast. He's kind of boring when he changes back into a prince at the end, because he could just be any man, but the Beast is so unique. At Disneyland Paris, you can see him in a show called Mickey and the Magician, but you can't really meet him very, very occasionally. So I knew I could meet him if I ate there. So that was why I booked it, and I didn't even care about the food. When it came down to it, Auburn wasn't that keen on going to Be Our Guest, but I made the reservation anyway. And then a friend of mine, Colleen, came out to meet me in Walt Disney World. So she took Auburn's spot. So I actually went to Be Our Guest with my friend Colleen, and she has an annual pass to Walt Disney World, but had never eaten there, never managed to get a reservation. So she really wanted to go. It was kind of better because I went with someone that really wanted to go. I think our reservation was about 6:30 in the evening, and we were seated in the main ballroom area with the big chandeliers and the painted ceiling. And for a start, Colleen kind of got mesmerized. There's a window with snow falling, and she was sitting looking at that window. She just couldn't take her eyes. I think she went into a bit of a trance, just enjoying watching the snow falling. So that was a really good place to sit for us. We enjoyed it. The meal, I wasn't too worried about the food, but actually it was probably the best food I had on the whole trip. So for the starter, Colleen chose lobster bisque, and she practically licked the plate clean. She thought that was so delicious. And I had French onion soup, which was amazing because it was just full of a really, really thick layer of cheese on top and all bread soaked into it. I could have eaten that all over again, French onion soup. And then she chose lamb chops for the main course, and I chose chicken. And again, that was just totally delicious. We couldn't get enough of that. Really, really lovely. And for the dessert, we didn't get a choice, but they give you a little trio of desserts. So one is kind of like a really nice, rich chocolate. One is a strawberry flavour macaroon, I would say, with a couple of raspberries on it. Maybe it's raspberry flavour, I'm not sure. And then the other one is chip. So it's literally chip made out of white chocolate, a little replica of chip. And it's full of the grey stuff, which is kind of like a quite sickly mix of probably mashed up Oreos and sugar and chocolate mousse. I'm not really sure what's in it, but very, very sickly. And that's inside your little chip that's made out of white chocolate. Now, we found it quite hard to eat Chip because he was looking at us and he's so cute. I had a go at eating him and I felt really bad about it. And Colleen couldn't eat hers at all, so she left Chip completely. And we just couldn't.
And then at the end, you got to finish your meal and meet the beast.
Oh, that was so good. Well, luckily, we'd already seen the beast quite a few times because there's a door that he goes in and out of. He has a little rest every half an hour or so, and he goes out of this door that's in the main ballroom. And we were sitting by that door. And then every time he comes out of the door, he walks around the whole restaurant and takes a bow, and everybody cheers him and claps him. And he kind of waves at everyone very regally and does a bow. So by the time we actually got to meet him, I think we'd seen him come in and out 2 or 3 times, already seen him, and he's so impressive and so big. Go into a room at the end of your meal. It's kind of like a drawing room with a big fireplace. And you don't wait long. 5 to 10 minutes, and then you have your audience with Beast. I would say he can't really interact with you a lot. I don't know. But he's just kind of huge and impressive, and he has a really big presence about him.
Yeah.
And I was kind of a bit in awe of him. I just wanted to look at him and think, wow, you're the Beast. So I wasn't disappointed to meet him. There was some really cute little girls dressed up as Belle in their princess outfits meeting him, which was very cute. Also, a newborn baby was meeting him. I would say 1 week old. The parents had brought the baby to meet him. So Beast was ever so gentle. And then there was a couple of Spider-Man and Marvel characters and other people just up meeting him because it was actually a Halloween party night, so a lot of people were in costumes, so that was funny. That was a great experience. If you can go to Be Our Guest, I would say anyone would enjoy that. It's expensive, obviously. It was 2 credits on our meal plan, totally worth it.
So let's move on now to another eatery, completely different style, but you went to Mickey's Backyard Barbecue, and we all know that those days are numbered. So tell me a little bit about that experience.
Well, Mickey's Backyard Barbecue, I just saw somewhere along the line. I don't know how I even found out about it, but I kind of like the whole cowboy vibe. I like anything cowboy. Mm-hmm. So I had a good idea that I would like it. We booked that not really knowing what to expect, but it totally exceeded our expectations, and Auburn really enjoyed it as well. So it's at Fort Wilderness Campground. So we got the boat over to Fort Wilderness Campground from Magic Kingdom. The boat ride itself is really nice. It takes about 10 minutes, I guess. And we explored the whole of Fort Wilderness Campground because we got there really early for that reason. So we had a good look around. We loved it there. We'd in fact really like to stay there one day, I think. It's got a really chilled out vibe. And then when we got to the actual barbecue, we got seated at a table. There's a stage with a dance floor. So basically we got seated fairly near the stage towards the front. And the tables are like a kind of picnic table, really. They're long tables with benches attached to them. We got sat at one of those with other people that we didn't know, but that's fine. Then there's a country music band that come out and sing, and a couple of compares that just commentate all evening, and they're really funny. Then you get Mickey coming out, and the characters that you get there are Mickey and Minnie, Chip and Dale, and Goofy. And they come out like all the time. Like they're out almost constantly. I suppose the whole experience probably goes on near enough 3 hours if you want it to. Mickey, Minnie, all of them, they come out and dance on the dance floor so you can dance with them. They dance for about half an hour. I mean, Mickey even does this kind of solo dancing. He just comes out among you and the tables and does some dancing, and you can just watch and join in. They put so much energy into that dancing and playing with everybody. And then they go off and have a rest. They come back. You line up so that you can meet them. So I lined up to meet Mickey and Minnie, and they had the cutest little cowboy outfits on. I mean, Minnie has these cute cowboy boots. I've never seen anything so cute. They're white cowboy boots. She has a red checked dress on, and Mickey has a red checked shirt on and a cowboy hat. I had taken along a little Minnie plush that I have where Minnie's dressed as a cowgirl, and they love playing with that, and they had a good look at that, and Minnie held on to it. I had some fun with them and obviously a photo, and they meet by some hay bales. And then they have some other entertainment as well as the country music band, which is like a whip cracker guy. And he was doing his tricks. He was a world champion whip cracker, and he was dancing around his whip and doing tricks with it. And he was amazing, a genuine cowboy, I would say. And then Chip and Dale, they just come around the tables, and Goofy came around the tables. And the food there was really nice. Now, I wasn't expecting the food to be as nice because it was just a barbecue. But they have stuff like macaroni cheese, bowls of that, bowls of salad, bowls of pasta. Then they have all the burgers, all the hot dogs. So just anything you'd expect at a barbecue, but really nice, like American home. I would associate that with American food, kind of like mashed potatoes, sweet corn, macaroni cheese, all that kind of filling, comforting, lovely food to pick at. And then just burgers. And for pudding, you could have anything you wanted out of the freezers. So they had Mickey bars, which I was really pleased about, just in the freezer. You could help yourself. Other ice lollies. And then there was alcohol and soft drinks. Pretty much whatever you wanted all evening. You could just go and get another beer or another wine or another soft drink. So excellent.
You've been to the Wild West experience in Disneyland Paris in the Disney Village. How does this compare?
Well, it's completely different, really, because the Buffalo Bills show at Disneyland Paris is an interactive dinner show. So the show goes on a big arena and you're all seated around it. You're kind of watching something that's going on while you're eating, which is really amazing. And they do have clowns that help you to cheer for your team and gee you up, and they're really funny, make you part of the show. But the backyard barbecue is completely different because the characters are just kind of with you. They're just kind of hanging around while you're eating, dancing with you, coming around, talking to you. They're just there. They're just on the dance floor. They're just kind of with you. So you wouldn't get that interaction at Buffalo Bill's Wild West show because the characters are in the arena kind of singing and performing. So two amazing experiences, but yeah, completely different. I was just amazed how much interaction you got at the backyard barbecue, really, with the characters and how close they were all the time.
Is there anything else from the Walt Disney World trip that you would count as a highlight that we've not yet discussed?
Definitely Toy Story Land. We enjoyed eating at Woody's lunchbox. We ate there twice. The food was nice, but partly just because you can sit there and see what's going on, like the toy soldiers on parade just keep coming past and things like that. And you can see the rides, you can see Slinky Dog Dash. So definitely Toy Story Land. We really enjoyed Alien Swirling Saucers. That was a real highlight for us. And I think it's called Toy Story Midway Mania, where you sit in a little car and you shoot at things.
Yeah.
We both really loved that because it was really different to the normal sort of guns you get. It was kind of like a splat gun, kind of like you're shooting things with custard tarts or something. I don't know how to explain it, but we just both had a lot of fun on that. And if we could have gone on it again, we would have done, but there was no fast passes left for the day. But we did it once, but so definitely Toy Story Land, a big highlight for us.
Fabulous. Now, I said at the beginning we were going to do some comparisons between Walt Disney World and Disneyland Paris. So let's just start with, if you could take a Walt Disney World attraction and put it into Paris, what would it be?
That's a tough one, an attraction, and put it into Paris. Probably, I think, Alien Swirling Saucers. That would fit really well into Paris because we already have a Toy Story Land. And that is a ride that I think anyone of any age can go on. And so even if some of your group don't like thrill rides, you could all go on it together and just have fun. At the end of the day, that's what we're going there for, is to have fun. You know, it was bright, it was colourful.
Okay, let's take it the other way and flip it this time and get something from Disneyland Paris, whether the studios or Disneyland itself, and what would you put into Walt Disney World?
Crush's Coaster. I mean, ride the waves, dude. Why would you not put Crush's Coaster into Walt Disney World? It's so awesome. And it's just a unique ride. I mean, you get spun around in those shells. In Crush's Coaster, the ride kind of comes outside for a minute, and when you're on the ride, you don't really notice that you went outside and back inside again. But it's really fun to stand outside Crush's Coaster and just watch people going around on the ride, just standing there and watching them all day. It's fun too. So definitely that ride. That needs to be in Walt Disney World. They need that ride.
And it would fit perfectly in Epcot, in the seas. Absolutely perfect.
Oh, it so would.
Okay, so we've
So
sort of swapped about things. So you gave your 5 reasons for Disneyland Paris why people should go earlier on in the show. I'm not going to do that for Walt Disney World because I don't think it's a fair comparison. But how would you compare the parade between Paris and Walt Disney World?
I think the floats are better at Walt Disney World. I mean, that Rapunzel float where you get the scene from the pub I Had a Dream, I just loved that. And the scale of their floats seems to just be a bit bigger and more impressive, more beautiful somehow. But I would say that Stars on Parade at Disneyland Paris wins on the kind of almost character interaction you get, because we seem to have a lot more characters walking along and dancing, I think, in Disneyland Paris, Stars on Parade. So if you're watching the parade at Paris and you call out to the characters, like you could call out to Mary Poppins and you could call out to the Lost Boys as they're walking along, or any of the characters that are walking along, really, and they'll quite often come over to you and just, shake your hand, give you a hug, things like that. Kind of feels like we're more involved in Stars on Parade somehow at Disneyland Paris, whereas the Festival of Fantasy Parade feels more like you're watching it, and it's very, very impressive, but you're not quite just so involved in it.
Okay.
That's how I would describe it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. What about the cuisine between the two parks?
Cuisine. Well, I'm not a foodie like you. I would probably say, the food at Walt Disney World is a lot better than the food at Disneyland Paris. I don't find the food at Disneyland Paris all that impressive, but then again, that's not what I'd go there for. Definitely for food, Walt Disney World wins because you've got a lot more choice. I mean, I had some amazing food at Tusker. Is it called Tusker House Restaurant in Animal Kingdom? And there's all these African different dishes and types of food. Amazing. So Walt Disney World for the food.
Okay, fantastic. And we've mentioned about the characters. What about the atmosphere between, for people watching? Which would you say has the edge?
For me, people watching has to be Paris. Just because it's a little bit smaller and more intimate. You can sit on Main Street, just watch the people go by. I don't know. There's a difference between Europe and America somehow. And maybe because Paris is in Europe, you get Spanish people and French people and Italian people and British people and German people. And it seems to be more different types of people to just watch, really, and different cultures going on there, I would say. For me, people watching wins at Paris, I would say, and atmosphere. Walt Disney World is good too. Like, I met the fire chief on Main Street, which I didn't know he existed, and just little fun things like that. So that adds to the atmosphere.
Absolutely perfect. And I know you're uploading your videos right now at the moment. So if anyone wants to see some wonderful videos that back up what Liz has been talking about on the show, and also where they can find your social media pages for the running group, please give yourself a little bit of a shout out on social media now.
On YouTube, have a look for Fairy Godmother. I'm Fairy Godmother because of my goddaughter, Katie May. I've taken her to Disneyland Paris a few times. So my channel is called Fairy Godmother. Usually it's Disneyland Paris, but I've uploaded all the vlogs of my Walt Disney World trip on there, so they're there too. I have a group on Facebook called Run Disney Paris Fans, so if you think you might do Run Disney at Paris one day, come and join our community there. And then Disneyland Paris Chat for Brits is a Facebook group where we literally just chat about Disneyland Paris, what's happening there, how to book our trips, what the latest things are going on, share our photos. That's where you can find me on social media.
Absolutely perfect. And I know we're going to speak with you again in the next few weeks because you're going to go to Disneyland Paris for Mickey's 90th celebration. So you're going to come back and talk to us a little bit about that as well.
Oh my goodness, yes. I don't really know what to expect yet because these things haven't happened before, but I'm sure it'll be awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm sure there's so many other things that we want to know about this trip, but we can find out by going over to your Facebook and YouTube page too. But until then, I think I'm just going to say you can find us on social media at DisDreamGirls. You can find more info on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Disney Dream Girls. We have our website, disneydreamgirls.com. And finally, you can email us comments and questions, info@disneydreamgirls.com. But until next week, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from Liz.